USA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
WOCA.
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370. Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. You know when you go to plug in a plug and it doesn't have that third prong, you have a choice. It's either this way or that way. If it doesn't go one way, then you got to turn it over. And I always get it right the second time. Every time, it's the first time I put the plug in, it's wrong. I turn it around and it's right. So I do the same thing with the name Kathy. I always know, or somebody tells me her name is Kathy, I say, well, it's either a C or a K. So I'll write it down. It's kind of like a game. Am I right or wrong? I got it right this time. I put a C. Now I have your business card, I see. All right. It's kind of a silly thing to point out, isn't it? Laura Burns is here from CareerSource, Citrus, Levy, Marion. That's the full name, right? You say all three counties in that order. And Laura brings to us some information that is very helpful. I know that people have shared the videos. So again, all of these interviews with Laura are recorded, and you can share the videos. And the good thing, the practical application of that is that somebody out there will find out about a job opportunity, and they usually right now. There's usually great opportunities right now. So Laura will explain how you get the jobs from CareerSource. And Laura has as a guest, Kathy Roach is in the studio. She's also with CareerSource, Citrus, Levy, Marion. And we're going to talk about some of the things you have right now, including interns that get paid. Mm-hmm. Interns that get paid. So I don't even understand what the word intern means, I guess. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Kathy and Laura. Are your mics on? How come I don't hear anybody?
No.
There, now I hear you. Now I hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Maybe you weren't talking.
Testing.
Maybe that's
Can you hear me now?
Maybe that's what happened. You weren't talking.
Mental telepathy.
Well, good morning. You've got a
morning.
beautiful smile, Kathy. How are you?
Okay, thank you. Very well.
Is this my first time meeting you, or did I meet
Yes.
you before? Okay. Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And Laura, last time we saw you was at the Student Media Festival.
Yes, it was. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
My husband, we watched it on TV. I recorded it, and he's like, delete that right now.
Why?
He's never seen himself on television, and
Why?
I thought he was
Distinguished
fantastic
sounding and
looks
looking.
Cute as a button, yeah.
Yeah, he looked
definitely
dapper.
nice.
Do you know who he sounds like to me?
Who?
I don't think I ever heard Joe really talk. Ross from Friends.
Oh,
Yeah, he was fun.
okay. Interesting. All right.
I said to Robin, doesn't he sound like Ross from Friends?
Yeah, he did.
Maybe he does.
Could-
Okay.
If we ever do a Friends thing in Ocala, we'll ask him to
We'll-
play the role of Ross.
Okay. All right.
He might even look a little bit like him.
Huh. Well, I don't know about that, but okay.
So listen, before we talk to Kathy, you have some stuff we need to hear about.
Oh, sure. Well, you talked about some hiring, and we do have some hiring events going on today and tomorrow. In fact, right now, at 10 o'clock, pardon me, starting at 10 o'clock, going from 10 to 2 at Burlington Coat Factory at their store here in Ocala. They are hiring, they're looking for cashiers, so stop on by and, if you're interested in Burlington. And tomorrow, Manpower, we're assisting Manpower over at our One Stop on Southeast 14th Street. They are filling positions for assemblers and skilled drywall professionals. I don't really know exactly what an assembler does, but as with all of our hiring events, you can go to our website, CareerSourceCLM.com, look on our calendar of events, and you can click on both of those hiring events, and you can get all the details, how to apply, where to go, that sort of thing. And the Manpower hiring event is tomorrow from 10 to 1. And just the last thing I just wanted to mention is typically at this time of the month I would be able to tell you what the new job numbers are. We're always a month behind, so we usually the third Friday of the month we can tell you what the employment summary is for the previous month. Well, that's not coming out until this Friday, unfortunately. So the most recent numbers we have would be for March, and the region's unemployment rate is 6.8%. Marion County's unemployment rate is 6.6%, and the number of unemployed is down to 8,633, so well below 10,000, and that's been a sort of consistent for the past several months, and so it's going in the right direction. Probably next month at this time, we'll start to see the cyclical peaking always during the summer. It always happens. You're going to kind of increase your unemployment rate. Peaks usually in July, then by September, October, it comes back to that pre-summer slump rate, that level or lower. So that's cyclical, and we see it all the time. But so we are heading in the right direction. And part of that is because of a lot of opportunities for employers and job seekers. And Kathy has got some exciting details about that.
Looking forward to hearing about it. I got to tell you about assemblers, though.
Okay.
I worked at a factory when I was young, very young, like 150 years ago. And it was a sheet metal factory. And my job basically was I pushed a button and the machine did everything. And then I made a thing and it went down the line, and I pushed it again and it made the same thing, and I did that all night long. It was a night shift, right? One day I asked, what am I making? Well, I was making these frames, or part of the frame of a windshield for a Jeep, is what I was making. Okay, I mean, you couldn't have told me that. I mean, it didn't look like it. Well, it sort of did once you knew what it was. But anyway, so where it went was to the assemblers, because I wasn't making the whole windshield, obviously, just a little piece of it, and then the assemblers would put it together, and then I guess once that was together, they shipped it to somebody else who then put it into the whole vehicle, which was another assembly. So I'm guessing assembling is a better paid job, because my job, I mean, I didn't need to know anything. I just needed to show up and push a button. I mean, seriously, I just needed to make sure that the metal was there. Because we used to have these big spools of sheet metal, and all I had to do was attach the sheet. It was kind of like a paper, in a way, but made out of metal.
Well, thank you.
I have no idea what these assemblers are going to do.
What they're making, but so you'll be assembling the parts into a greater whole.
And you know what I wonder?
Else.
If my job from back then is now replaced by robots, because you didn't really need a human to do that. Not really. Not with today's technology.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Could be.
Probably
Could
is.
be.
So, Kathy, tell me about, what did you say before we were going to talk about interns and what else?
Work experience.
Work experience.
We have paid internships and paid work experience, and the difference is the internships are targeted towards graduating students who have specific areas of study that will move them into manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, or IT. And so we're offering a 12-week paid internship at up to 30 hours a week.
At CareerSource?
With local employers that we've been reaching out to within those specific industries, with the hopes that the employer at the end of the 12 weeks will see a valued employee and then want to bring them on full time.
Okay.
The work experience is working with customers who are unemployed, who have had some work experience, but their skills might be a little rusty. So it's offering that program to employers to say, hey, take this person on board, get their skills back up to speed, and then same thing, 12 weeks, up to 30 hours a week. And then at the end, hopefully you'll see a valued employee and want to bring them on full time.
And that's really wonderful that you're going to pay the interns, because so many times the interns will want to be at a place that they want to eventually have a career at, but they still have to live. They still have to put gas in their car, buy groceries sometimes, pay rent. And I just have never understood, everybody says, well, if you're an intern, we pay you with experience. Well, if you're wore out from working at a job, you're not going to be 100% at the job you really want. So it's wonderful that you're paying the interns.
Right, yes. And that's the whole point, is that a lot of the challenges that a graduate will have is they'll want to go into their field and they'll hear, well, yes, you have the certificate, you have the degree, you don't have the work experience.
It's the catch-22 thing. Yeah.
And so this is a way to bridge that gap and, allow them to gain that, needed experience so that If for some reason the employer is not able to bring them on at the end of 12 weeks, they have work experience that they can put on their resume while they're looking
Sure,
for
sure.
that regular
That's
full-time.
So they actually get paid by you guys?
Yes. Well, we're contracting with a payroll service
Okay.
that is going to handle our payroll for us. But yes, we're funding it.
Okay, I'm still unclear about the difference between the intern and oh, jeez, okay.
Paid work experience.
We have a commercial happening. Okay, weather. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. So let's do the weather, and we'll come back.
Okay.
And I'm still not clear. I guess just to finish my thought, I'm still not clear about the differences.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll be right back. You're listening to WOCA Ocala. We'll be right back.
What are the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking? Will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Is your credit headed in the wrong direction? If so, Florida Credit Union can help turn it around. If the signs are reading missing payments, maxing out cards, or borrowing from financing companies, it's time to steer your credit to safety. Pull into a Florida Credit Union today and let us help you map out a personalized credit management plan. Get a free credit report analysis and advice to help you consolidate wisely. A better plan can get you to a better place. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
CareerSource Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to CareerSource Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Wow, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Who did this?
P&P Tikis and more, of course. Now I have a tiki hut for shade, and I can enjoy the sounds of my cascading fountain while feeding my koi fish in my own pond. They even fixed my fence and redid all my landscaping. Nice to see a professional, reliable, family-owned business. Yes, P&P Tikis is the natural Florida tiki builder and water features designer. With free estimates, P&P Tikis is licensed and insured. Call 352-877-3307 for your very own tiki hut and more. That's 352-877-3307. P&P Tikis.
Thank you. 13 minutes before 10 o'clock. Laura Burns is here from CareerSource Citrus Levy Marion, and Kathy Roach is also here from CareerSource Citrus Levy Marion. And Kathy, we're learning from you about these programs that somebody might participate in. Now, it sounds like these are all for young people. Somebody like myself, we wouldn't be considered, right?
If you are graduating from educational institution.
Oh, really? So if I went to school and I was graduating, even at this age, I could still do it?
Well, a lot of people go back to school to they change careers. They go back to school. For example, I met several students over at CTAE that were graduating with their medical assistants or their health information technology, and not all of them were young.
Did you remember, I don't know if this is still true, but I remember when I was young, guys who were so confident that they could do well in a job would actually offer to work for free. I'll say, I'll come in and work for free. If I don't prove myself, I'll be gone in a month or 2 months. Just let me work. Just let me prove to you I can do this. And they would be hired. Is that illegal now? Are you allowed to hire somebody for free? If somebody comes in and says, I'd like to do this just to prove myself?
Well, I think if somebody goes in and they offers themselves as a volunteer to an employer and they meet their
So it's still okay to do that kind of thing?
That is a viable option. The thing with the paid internships, again, it's connecting those employers with those graduating students and those that have the classroom skills, and a lot of them, especially in the medical, they're already doing externships through the school. So it's really connecting the employers with those students and saying, here, now you have somebody that you can mold, you can train, you can put under your wing, train them to your scope of business, and you get them for 12 weeks. They're paid, so they're able to meet their financial
That's enough time, 12 weeks.
requirements.
You would think that's enough time.
And it definitely gives the employer enough time to determine whether or not this is a valued employee.
And for the work experience trainee, and this might be where you were thinking, that's for someone who has work experience, but maybe has been out of work, or their industry is kaput or whatever. So it can be for not a student age, a traditional student age.
I got you.
And
Okay,
so work
okay.
experience, that's for someone who has work experience but maybe needs to have their skill sets upgraded.
But are they set up for? Oh my gosh, I got work for 12 weeks. I hope I get paid. Are they at that point where they say, I didn't really get a job, honey, but I got 12 weeks worth of work?
It can also lead to
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
employment.
Can I ask you ladies to put your headset on? I have a phone call, and you'll be able to hear the caller easier. Well, hear them, period. Good morning. Thank you for calling. Can you hear me, ladies?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Kathy?
Yes.
Good. Okay, good. That means you'll hear the caller. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Anytime that I ever switched jobs in my career, I would tell the supervisor where I was going into that I would take whatever wage he was offering on without question, but that we would discuss my pay again in 90 days. I always got the raise.
Oh, well,
Excellent.
that's a good statement about yourself. Yeah, and that's a nice offer to make somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't go in making what seems to be a demand to your prospective employer.
I agree.
What I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I agree. All right. So thank you for the call. So if somebody was interested in this, it sounds like you're offering is kind of a helping hand to get to that point, because everybody doesn't have the ability to self-sell, to sell themselves. So is that part of what you do at CareerSource? You kind of help with that whole connecting process?
Oh, absolutely. And we also look at when we meet with the potential interns and or work experience candidates, we also assess to find out where they may need some training or some interviewing skills. We offer a wonderful array of workshops at our offices, from helping them prepare their resume, from helping them get ready for that interview. We do mock interviews with them. And again, all these services are no cost. So even with the interns, as I'm assessing them and I see, for example, maybe they may need some assistance with interviewing. They're not communicating to that point where they may hurt themselves more than help themselves in meeting with these employers, is that, we will offer, we have this great workshop called Nail That Interview, and it's a 2-hour workshop.
Oh, nice.
And then they do a mock interview afterwards. They get guidance and counseling, and we critique and offer suggestions on maybe a better way to answer that question is this way, or how does that feel? And it basically gives them a little bit more self-confidence in being able to go out and represent themselves, because ultimately they're accountable for representing themselves. So.
If I could, I just want to jump in real quickly and flip it a little bit, because we've been talking a lot about the benefits to the job seeker, and there's no question that even if the internship or work experience trainee program doesn't pan out into a full-time job, it's a great thing because it fills the gap in your resume. It provides that experience. It provides those additional skills. That's all going to be helpful. Plus, you're getting paid. That's pretty nice. But look at it on the employer side. This is a fantastic opportunity for employers to be. We understand that it's risky to bring on somebody without that experience or without the skills that you want, and there's a financial risk. It's uncertain. It's a little scary maybe. But this is a way to try and to, as Kathy said, to train that individual.
That's a wonderful point.
To your,
yeah.
To your specifications, what you need. So really by the end of that 12 weeks, if you don't have the ideal job candidate to hire full-time, there's really,
So how does an employer qualify? What do they have to do?
Well, we look at what we're focusing on right now are specific industries. We're focusing on manufacturing, healthcare, IT, and logistics. So the employer can go to our website, CareerSourceCLM.com, and navigate to my contact information is all there on the employer side. Laura's done an awesome job as far as getting this information out through social media. And they just need to call me and talk with me, and I'll be glad to go out and meet with them or talk to them on the phone to let them know what we're looking for as far as what we would like them ultimately to have that end result being they have a valued employee.
And the person that goes in to take part in that internship program, you let them know exactly what kind of job they're going into, because so many people, we knew a woman that applied somewhere. She was hired as a receptionist, but she really wanted to be a writer. But that job that she hired for, wasn't the job.
So part of the benefit for the employer is CareerSource pre-screens. These are going to be vetted. They're coming from an eligible pool, and the employer does get to make the final selection, but we're not going to give you someone who is not qualified. Or,
Right.
Exactly.
That's really a wonderful program.
Mm-hmm. Also, I just wanted to mention, Kathy talked about the industries, but it's also occupation specific. So if you are a bank, for instance, and you need to hire somebody in IT, that fits in. So it's not that, I'm not a logistics company or manufacturer, I don't qualify. If you have a position in one of those 4 areas, you can be eligible as long as you're for profit and have 3 full-time employees and have either an occupation specific or your industry specific in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any specific ones that are open right now? Any specific internships or what was the other one called again? The
work experience
training positions?
I'm working with an employer for a work experience that is a manufacturer. And then I am reaching out to, I've got 2 medical offices that I haven't met with personally to sit down and talk to them exactly what they're looking for. But I have 2 employers, and then we're reaching out every day to our local employers that we do business with, and there are 6 or 7 that we've already spoken to that we're just working out the details with them. We want to make sure that we have our viable pool of candidates, and in reaching out to the local institutions, the local education institutions, I should say, we're starting to get that pool of candidates put together. And the candidates, Laura did mention a piece, there is an eligibility factor for the funding stream that we're in. And also they do need to attend an orientation. They need to have a resume that is a resume they would present to an employer.
Right.
Error-free.
Yeah.
Very good standing, all of that. And then we will... Basically, I'll be vetting them too and finding out as through the assessment, really if it's a medical assistant, what office do you want to work in or what field do you want to work in, not as opposed to here you're going there.
Right.
So we make that connection, and again, the employer does get a chance to interview them as the candidate gets to interview the employer to make sure there is a good match.
We don't think that way sometimes,
you have
especially
to
when
think
we're young.
That way. If you're a job seeker, you're also interviewing to make sure that that's the position you want.
Yeah, we've got just about a minute, and I never realized until Laura started coming here how much manufacturing takes place in Ocala. I just had no clue we had so many manufacturers. So let's wrap it up with contact information. Do we contact you, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay.
You can contact me at CareerSource, Citrus Levy Marion. My number is 352-732-1700, extension 2205.
Okay.
And then you can also go on to our website, and that will also include my email address.
Okay. All right. And Laura, do you want to give out any other information?
Just check our website, check our calendar of events, and right now we are looking for employers to take advantage of this wonderful internship and work experience program. So employers, please contact Kathy.
It's a win-win, and if you didn't already catch this, it's free for the employer and for the employee.
Yes.
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
Casting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. An oil spill in Central California has been contained, but the damage could be shifting.
The spill was about 20 miles northwest of the pricey Santa Barbara real estate, but the Coast Guard says winds could push that 2 to 4 miles.